sis, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a little side from our normal everyday skincare or lifestyle related content to talk about something a little more about the money making. Yes guys, this is all about NFTs. Last week I launched my very first NFT collection. Why? Because I've been fascinated by NFTs for a while and a few people suggested that I do it, and I just wanted to try it and figured it out that best case scenario, like what would happen. I would make some money, and the worst case that I won't. But at least I will learn a lot. In this video, I will break down exactly what it was like for a total NFT noob to design, create and sell their first NFT collection. I will cover how I did it, how much money I made, whether or not it is worth it or not, and some suggestions I have for people who wants to start NFT collections of their own. Okay guys, so that's a lot of material. So guys, let's get started. First, because it's somewhat relevant, let's talk about the NFTs themselves. What type of artwork I created and how I got the idea. I have a relevant, significant YouTube audience, and most of my audience know that I'm able to create beautiful Instagram banner or something like that, and people do really enjoy my banner art. So on a couple of suggestions from my audience, I decided to create a collection of designs. It was kind of an easy part. So next comes guys, the marketing. If an NFT collection is launched in a forest, nobody is going to come and hear. After I had all my images ready, I knew it was time to start marketing my collection. I had briefly mentioned my NFT project to my audience earlier when I asked for suggestions on topics for themes or banners, but that wasn't quite enough. So I decided to spread the work by telling to more of my subscribers and followers. Does that strategy work? Yes and no. I'll get more into this when I list out the key suggestions that I have towards the end of this video, but for now, I'll just say that this marketing was not enough. I made some pretty serious mistakes, one of which was that I waited until launch day to release the link to OpenSea. I mistakenly thought that when I created a collection on NFT on OpenSea, I had to immediately list all the NFT for sale. But it doesn't work like that, guys. You could have your collection visible but not listed for sale yet on OpenSea. People can browse your collection on OpenSea, favorite your certain items and sign up for notification for when they do become available for sale. That way everyone knows that what is happening and they're already notified for launch. But by waiting until launch day to release my OpenSea, I definitely missed out some potential sales. I'll recommend an alternate strategy at the end of this video, so keep watching. So this is when things started to get a little bit trickier. I decided to host my NFT collection on OpenSea. Why OpenSea? It is a pretty big name in NFT world, and many people who aren't super into NFTs also heard about OpenSea platform. I knew that most of my audience wasn't well versed with NFTs, so for the sake of building more trust and garnering more sense of familiarity, I decided to go and open on OpenSea. About a week before the launch, I created an OpenSea account. One of the very first thing that I had to do was to connect my crypto wallet to an OpenSea account. This would allow me to receive crypto for NFTs. If you're not super well versed into crypto or NFT like I was at the beginning of the process, this might be a little bit confusing guys, but that's okay. Your crypto wallet is different from the platform you use to trade crypto. As an example, I personally use Coinbase to trade both Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I had to download a separate application in order to open the account. OpenSea crypto wallet, the popular ones are MetaMask and Wasabi. I decided to use Coinbase wallet because I was more familiar with that and it makes more sense. So I connected Coinbase to the Coinbase wallet and then the Coinbase wallet to OpenSea. Something else to note here lies to transfer a couple of $100 worth of Ethereum into your crypto wallet, maybe 200 or 300 to be safe. You need this to pay for the initializing fees on OpenSea, which I'll get to it in a while. After I had my crypto wallet connected to OpenSea, I was able to create a collection. I went to the profile icon, then I went down to my collections and then I created a collection. Here I was able to set up the collection including the logo, the banner, name, URL and more importantly setting up your collection. So you have to use a unique collection name and URL. If your collection name is too similar to an existing collection name, it won't allow you to create your collection. For example, my collection was called YouTubers, and I was not able to create that because it's very similar to YouTubers, because yeah, they don't allow you. Next, this is when you set up royalties. Royalties are the percentage fee that you create as you set up as a content creator. And if your NFT is resold, and they're completely optional, so you guys, you can choose that. I choose a royalty percentage fee that is 3%. The last thing to note here is that this is when you select what blockchain you want your NFTs to be decided to be. Yeah, so by default it's Ethereum, but you can also choose Polygon. I choose Ethereum for that because that was I'm most familiar with. After that, I created my collection. That is where I could start adding items to my collection. When I was in the collection, I just click add item, and that is where you upload the actual JPEG or PNG, whatever your NFT is. And you can add your name, description, and you can add an external link, all of that stuff. You can also add properties, unlockable content stats, or more after adding the banner name and a brief discussion. I also choose to add property and some unlockable content. So the launch date finally came around. So I woke up early, hopped on to OpenSea, intending to make all my collection available for sale before releasing the OpenSea link on my social media. After hitting the first sale button, you have a couple of options. You can either sell the NFT for a flat price, or you can put it for auction. I set the price for around 0.03 Ethereum, which is at that time was around 125, and I proceeded with it. Then I was hit by an OpenSea fees, guys. In order to start selling NFTs on OpenSea, you have to pay one-time initializing fees. After you pay that fees, you are able to sell as many NFTs you want, but for this first time, you need that. Gas fee at the time were around 66, so my initial fees was around 125 after the transaction was submitted. I waited for about a lot of time, and then when I was waiting, the gas fee starts to increasing. It's 100, 150, 200. Oh my gosh, guys, it stayed over 150 for most of the day, as I waited for 18.5 hours for my transaction to be processed. And guys, I completely missed my launch day. So what is gas, you must be thinking? In the content of NFT, well, NFTs are stored on the Ethereum blockchain. Whatever transaction happens on that blockchain, whether it is an NFT being minted or purchased, or any initializing fees being paid, that transaction must be approved. Approving a transaction takes energy, and if you submit a transaction, you pay for this energy, though a mechanism called gas. Gas is measured in Gray, and it is just a unit for a tiny fraction of Ethereum, that is 0.00001. So the higher the overall demand for the transaction approval, the higher the base gas required. When a transaction is submitted for approval, it gets put into a queue. The transaction with the highest amount of gas will get approved first. So if a gas is 100, but you need to make sure that your transaction is approved quickly, you might add gas up to 125 to get priority approval. So going back to my launch date, morning nightmare, I submitted my initializing transaction when gas was at 66, and immediately after gas jumped out over 200 and stayed that higher the rest of the day as well. My transaction gas was 66, super low in the queue, and thus was not approved until 18.5 hours I had to wait. You know, in certain crypto wallets, there is a way to add more gas to your transaction after your transaction already been submitted, allowing for that transaction to get approved quickly. But I didn't know how to do that, so I just waited until it was completely naturally done. Anyway, so I paid my initially fees. I waited an entire day for the fee to go through, and I had to launch my entire NFT collection a day later. I was very sad, but now I know to get initialized on OpenSea well in advance of your launch date, so this can be never have again. So in the first hour launching my OpenSea link, I got 4 sales, but I did not make a single sale after that, by the way. I didn't have to pay the gas on that sales. Whoever purchased the NFT did, because their transaction is what minted the NFT onto the blockchain. So all in that, I made 4 sales and around 125 each for a total of $500. But I also have to pay around $124 for both the initializing fees and the gas fees. So a net profit of $350 was it. So guys, you must be thinking, was it worth it? Yes and no. If I looked into the sheer number of hours I poured into this project versus the $325 profit I got from it, it wasn't worth it. My time is way more valuable than that. But when I looked to the learnings that I made from this process, which I will share next, it was worth it. I know guys, so I know now so much about NFTs that I did before. I actually kind of understand what gas is. I met some super cool people along the way in NFT space, and because of everything that I have learned, I am in a much better place to potentially collaborate on a larger scale NFT project in the future if I were to do so in the future. I would definitely do a lot of things differently. So if you're considering launching your first NFT project, here are some of the suggestions that I would like to give. As I mentioned earlier, you don't have to wait until your NFTs are available for sale in order to share your OpenSea link. Sharing a link to your project as soon as the items are added and as soon as they are available for sale, this will allow more time for people to browse your collection favorite, the ones that they like, and they sign up for a notification for when the items do become available for sale. That will all likely help you make more sales. Next, get set up well in advance. Don't be like me and wait until the launch day to get initialized early so you don't accidentally end up missing your launch day. Third, consider adding extra benefit to owning an NFT. Even with a beautiful artwork, it's tough guys to get people to buy your NFT. If it's merely art, first, art is subjective. Some people might love it, but others might not. Second, buyers of your NFT will have to pay for gas on their purchase. So even if your NFT itself is only $5, they have to end up spending over $100 on just gas to make it worth it. Consider adding extra benefits such as access to a private community or discounts or a product or something like that. Art itself is becoming tougher and tougher to sell. Lastly, build a community, and it's more and more getting popular in the NFT space. It's really easy to see why without a solid community build up, it's really guys difficult to sell your NFT. Many of the successful NFT projects have large discount channels of thousands of people getting ready for the NFT launch. Like in a month they do it. These people create a good amount of buzz both before and after the NFT launch, and resulting in more sales and higher price. Thank you so much for watching this video on my very first NFT collection journey. I really hope it was useful guys, and especially if you are considering launching your NFT collection of your own. Guys, you need to know about all of the NFT process. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.